I'm Nicky Lewis and welcome to the guest list. And my special guest today is Kate from Lizzy Love Fashion. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Nicky.
My pleasure. A little later in the show, I've also got Vickers, who is a groom, and wait till you hear how he popped the question. It is quite some story. So, Kate, is it okay not to have kids at a wedding? Because for some people it's kind of, they don't have kids. You and I have kids,
yes,
so
yes.
it's one of the things that for us, obviously we have kids at a wedding, but for other people it's not a big thing, or it is a big thing to not have kids at a wedding. What do you think?
Well, Nicky, I was born into an Italian family, and I married into a Greek family, and in those cultures and communities it is absolutely inconceivable not to have children at these family affairs. In fact, you probably go to a Greek wedding and you'll find more children than adults.
I can imagine.
Yes, absolutely. So having said that, though, of course there are couples who have very special settings in mind that would not be appropriate to have children, and a lot of young couples these days also have budgetary constraints.
Yeah.
And they then have to cut the guest list down to whatever it is that they can afford.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, tell us about Lizzy Love Fashion.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you get into the industry?
Well, I have always wanted to operate and own my own business. It has been a lifelong dream for me. And when we moved to New Zealand in 2008, I was looking for an opportunity to start my own business. And I was looking for something essentially that had a creative flair about it. And I noticed a gap in the market for special occasion wear for girls, particularly in the age group of 5 to 12. There seemed to be very little, if anything, in the market at the time. And when I started my business, I started it with one product. And like many small businesses, I started operating from my kitchen bench at home. And eventually I realized that if I wanted to grow my business, I needed to take a bigger risk. And so I opened up a small retail store. And basically the business grew from that.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
Now, where is your store?
I have a store in Albany on the North Shore, in Auckland. And we also have a very strong online presence.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, and who is predominantly your target audience?
We cater for special occasions, and particularly girls from the ages from as young as 1 all the way to 12 years of age. You won't find jeans or t-shirts or sweaters or trainers in our store. The clothing is predominantly targeted to those special occasions: weddings, birthdays, family gatherings.
And I noticed as I've been into your store, and it's beautiful. It's really
Thank you.
lovely. I mean,
Thank
anybody
you.
who's got a little girl is just, it's fabulous.
We do have amazing responses to the store when mums and grandmothers come into the store. And I have to add, we also have a lot of fathers who bring their little girls into the store as a special treat.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful bonding opportunity for the father and the daughter.
So you've also got a lot of sort of what I don't know whether it's the right term, but costumes for all the Disney characters and all that sort of thing?
That's right, lots of dress up. So it is very, very common to have a themed birthday party. So we either have fairies or princesses, and a whole range of princesses based on the Disney stories. So the parties are themed, and the mothers obviously want the birthday girl dressed to theme. And we help the mothers and the little girls choose the dress and the accessories. Often the girls won't even climb out of their ensemble. They literally walk out the front door, dressed from head to toe. In their outfits, it's really lovely.
That is so cute.
Yes.
Do you find you have a lot of customers outside of the Auckland area then?
Yes, we do. I have found that over the holiday periods, people will travel up to Auckland to visit family members, and they will make a particular effort to come to the store.
Lovely.
Or they phone up ahead and say, look, we are coming from Ariwa, or we've come up from Queenstown. What are your hours? Would you be able to see us?
Fantastic.
They do come. Or they will phone if they're not able to come. They've seen the stock online. They call and we talk them through it. It is tricky buying online. So we spend a lot of time coaching them through the process, and a lot of them will actually trust you with your suggestions. So of course I see the dresses in my store all day long with the various jackets and the shoes, and I'm able to make a recommendation. Whereas if you're looking online, it is a little bit difficult sometimes to piece it all together.
Absolutely. Now, after the break, Kate and I are going to be talking all about what you can be dressing your little princesses in, whether it is for a wedding or whether it is for a special occasion or party. And also later on, I'm going to be talking to that very special groom who did one heck of an amazing proposal. So I'll see you after the break.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Hi, I'm Nicky. Welcome back to the guest list. Now I'm joined here today by Kate from Lizzy Love Fashion. So Kate, let's talk a little bit about what is in fashion at the moment. What are the hot trends? Now you've brought these beautiful samples in today. Is this what's trending for upcoming birthdays or weddings?
So we've had this enormous trend for vintage weddings, as I'm sure that you have seen yourself.
Definitely.
So the emphasis has been on lace and feathers, and brides are trying to capture a feeling of yesteryear, something quite classic and beautiful and memorable and timeless. I have seen, though, as well, a trend with brides, dressing them in the colours of the bridesmaids. That has been really, really popular. And as you can see here, I've brought a selection of dresses that have been very, very popular with flower girls. Probably in the last 2 years, it just doesn't seem to go away. They're putting their flower girls in colours, and it's really, really lovely to see.
And it's lovely that you bring in this pop of colour, because you know, in the past sort of 5 years, 10 years ago, the flower girls were all in white or ivory, and they looked pretty, but they were all in white or ivory. So to bring all this beautiful colour in, whether it's in the coral or the lilac or in this, what are we calling this colour?
This is a mint.
Mint. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So to bring that pop of colour in, and I've always said to my brides, you know, bring the colour in as many different areas as you can. So from the invitations to the cake, to the favours, to the sashes on the chairs.
Exactly.
And if you can bring it in your flower girls as well, brilliant.
Fantastic, yes, absolutely right. So when the bride comes in, that is the first thing we ascertain. Is she going to be having a traditional wedding where she wants the traditional flower girl in the white or the ivory? Or is she looking for something a little bit more modern with a little bit of flair and a little bit of colour, as you say? And then we guide her through that process. And like I said, I have found it is becoming increasingly popular to go with colour. And some brides are even doing that ombre, the rainbow effect, where we might have the same style of dress in perhaps 3 or 4 different colours. That has been very that is lovely. That is really, really amazing in photographs as well.
Yeah, it's such a fresh look. It's really, really nice.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. The other thing that brides are doing a lot of is they might choose the same colour but a different style of dress in the flower girls.
That's also cute. Very,
very, very nice. But brides are definitely moving away from that very staunch, very, very traditional ivory white style of clothing to a bit more modern. Also taking into account people's budgets. Brides or mothers of the flower girls are keen to select a style of dress that they can use again.
I was just thinking that, because if you were to buy this and obviously wear it for a wedding,
Yes.
you could very well use this for another little special occasion. It doesn't scream wedding, it doesn't
Exactly
scream
right.
flower girl.
That's exactly right.
It's fantastic. It's got multiple uses.
That's right. So it's formal enough to be a flower girl, and yet you can then alternate the use of it. You can then go to as a guest. You can wear it as a guest to your next wedding.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
And the other thing I wanted to mention to brides was that when they're trying on the flower girl dresses, comfort is so important for the flower girl. Some children who have very soft and sensitive skins are particularly sensitive to synthetic fabrics or any trim on the fabric.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you do not want your little flower girl to be tugging and pulling but even before the ceremony has started.
So people want to get hold of you, they want to come visit to store. Where do they come and find you?
First thing they can do is go online, and we are www.lizzylove.co.nz. Go online, our contact details are there, and we'll be happy to help you with any of your requirements.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kate.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Lovely. So I've been talking to Kate from Lizzy Love Girls Fashion. Now after the break, I'm going to be talking to Vickers, and he's a groom who has already got married, but he proposed in the most amazing way. So wait until you hear his story. I'll see you after the break.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Hi, I'm Nicky. Welcome back to the guest list. I'm now joined by Vickers. Now Vickers is a groom who got married just last year. And ordinarily he would be here with his bride, Lorraine. So welcome to you, Vickers.
Thank you, Nicky.
Now the reason Lorraine is not here is she's feeling a little under the weather, isn't she?
Yeah, unfortunately we're just at our 13-week pregnancy mark, so she's not quite there yet.
Completely understand that she's feeling awful, and so I hope she's feeling better pretty soon. But I hope the pregnancy's all going well other than that. So
yes, absolutely. Will be.
Now, I've already mentioned to the viewers that you had a very, very special proposal, which we're going to get onto in a few minutes. But first of all, let's hear, how did you and Lorraine actually meet?
Well, we actually met like in New Zealand. It seems like all South Africans know each other. So we actually had a similar crowd of friends, and we met at our local church that we go to. And the conversation, turned out that she was working for state insurance and I had my insurance business, so there was a lot to talk about. And I just made sure that I keep the conversation going, and when I ran out of conversation, I started asking her for maybe some South African CDs to listen to some music while I had a database of music back home, so I had to find ways to keep it going.
Fantastic. How long ago was that you met her?
That was about maybe about 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
All right. Now, how did you pop the question? How did you get on to actually proposing?
Well, I tend to try to do things a little bit differently, so I had to wait for the weather to be good. But we're very much outdoorsy, beachy type of people. So Lorraine loves seeing a nice sunset, and I figured the best thing to do would be sunsets. So I organised with some friends of ours to get a treasure chest that we managed to find, which looks like it washed up out of the sea, after a couple of years. So we got that, we filled it with some sand and some sticks and stuff, dug a hole at Muriwai Beach, and actually buried this chest. And in the meantime, I organised with Lorraine that I'd pick her up from work and we'll go have a nice little romantic sunset. So I picked her up. The other guys are busy getting the chest all in the ground and getting it nicely covered up and putting a marker so that I could find it when I arrive. Told me what it is, so I get Lorraine. We drive up to Muriwai Beach, and as we get there, the sun is just setting. It's beautiful, and while I'm getting her attention towards the ocean and seeing the beautiful sunset, my head's going the other way looking for this marker. And eventually, I found the marker. Praise God! and I got it, and we managed to park the car right over the spot. I said, Lorraine, this is such a beautiful night. You know, I did get a little basket of something for us, a little piece of meat and a little piece of nibbles. But what we should do is we should make a fire. It's beautiful. It's the right time. So we started to make a fire. And as we get all the sticks together, I said, well, it is a bit of an issue with fire on the beach. And she was a bit concerned about that. So I said, look, let's dig a hole. It's a perfect solution. Fire is hidden, and we can enjoy it. And afterwards, we just cover it up. So great, we'll start to dig the hole. And as I started, I just grabbed a little stick and started to dig with it. And I handed it to her, Lorraine, and said, you keep on digging, I'll go find a better stick that we could use so we can go faster.
You're very sneaky.
Getting her, to work on the same spot as where I already started. So I know she's ready to go there. And I'm walking around just kind of enjoying the view, really. She's working, I'm just relaxed. And at one stage she hits something. And she's going, oh, there's something down here. So we start to clear it off. I walk closer, and we see that it's just a piece of metal. And as a normal girl would just want to move over or just go to find a different spot, I said to her, look, if any guy finds something hidden in the sand, it becomes a mission. It's not just a little piece of metal, let's move on. So we start to clear it off, and now she's getting into it and gets more excited. And as we start to clear the sand around it, we notice that it's a chest, looks like a chest cover. And now Lorraine is going a million miles an hour to get this thing out of the ground. So she's hooked. And
but she's still none the wiser. She just thinks
she has no idea.
She's just got to find a box.
Because she dug in the hole. Why would there be anything there? So great. Lorraine is going a million miles an hour. I'm kind of
sunset's now
helping.
forgotten.
Sunset's, yes, there is no more sunset. We'll get to that later. And as she keeps on digging for this, we managed to kind of get the lid a little bit loose. And it's the right point. We just managed to pop it open. And during all this scurrying and digging and everything, I made sure that she's positioned in the front of the chest and I'll be on the other end. And as she gets it open, she looks up at me and goes, oh, it's open. Gets it open, and inside there's sticks, and it looks like seawater just came in, and it looks nice and messy, and there's this little box in there as well. And of course, like a girl, grabs the box, forgets about everything else there, grabs the box, gets up, and starts to open it, and I could see her light up as we've really found something. And the next minute, the little lights start to go on, and she went, wait a second, we found something, a ring. And as she looked at me, by that point, I was conveniently on my knee on the other side of the chest. And I just popped the question to her right then and then, said, would you be my wife?
Oh,
yeah,
very cool.
Bit of a surprise, made her work for it.
No, you certainly did make her work for it.
Took her a good 10, 15 minutes though to dig it out. Yes.
Very cool. And she obviously said yes.
Yes, she said yes. And yeah, it was all laughter. I think we probably kept on laughing for the next half an hour to an hour. Just could not get over, she couldn't get over the surprise and just how she did not see it coming at all. And I had my friends, of course, come back over the hills, and they were close by, so they managed to take some nice photos for us.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's a great story. Really, really good. Well done. You put a lot of effort in there. Oh, she did a lot of effort too with all the digging.
She did, yes. Yeah, she really pulled the weight there.
Very, very good. So tell me a little bit about your wedding. You got married in Puhoi?
Puhoi, yeah, yes. Just north of Auckland.
Okay, and you opted for a bush-style wedding.
Yes, yes. Since we loved being outside and being in the outdoors, we decided what better, place to have a wedding than right in the bush.
Fantastic.
And we found a beautiful clearing, little dirt road next to it, and decided this is the spot. It's a great picnic spot we've come to before, and this is where we'll have our wedding.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
But you did make sure that you had a marquee app, so
yes,
the elements were taken care of just in case the weather did not play along.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
How many guests in total?
We only had about 60 guests.
Nice and intimate.
Yeah, it was nice and small.
Oh, that's good.
We loved it.
Great. And the style of wedding? Sort of a theme that you had running through
it was more of a vintage type of, vintage high tea.
Nice.
What they call it.
Yeah.
So we made sure it's all nice and eloquent and
very, very nice.
I really, to be honest, I really just handed it to them and said, right, I'm happy with whatever you're going to do. Just don't make me wear a tie.
Oh, really?
That was my only thing.
All right. So what did the boys wear then?
Well, we made all the guys wear just some nice pants, no socks, nice little sailor shoes, and they had these nice little white hats with some polka dot stripes on them. And then the girl that we had there, because we had a different wedding party than the normal. We had about 6 guys and 1 girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
wow.
just a different type of wedding party.
Yes.
And she wore a beautiful dress that Lorraine and Mum also put together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did anything go a little bit skew on the day? Anything go wrong?
Yeah, do you know what? We actually had, we had one little hiccup. Part of our theme was we had doves that we were going to release, beautiful white doves. And the instructor basically explained to us how they operate, what works for them, what doesn't work. So we really worked with her to get 2 doves in beautiful little bird cages, and then I think 3 or 4 in a nice big basket. Now the problem is with doves, being animals, they don't sit still because it's not the time yet. So one of the doves managed to get a bit of a spook going, and it became this chain effect, which eventually the doves were going crazy, and our pastor, doing his best to run with whatever we've given him, he thought this must be the time then, and so he releases the doves, or gets it released, and it's doves everywhere. But we managed to keep the 2 that we were going to release kind of calmish, so that we could release them both, in our little moment. But yes, the doves were everywhere. And the beautiful thing is they keep all flying around, especially when you let these 2 go. They will keep on circling the area until they meet up, and then they'll go home together.
Nice. Lovely.
And that's why we picked them.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a disaster, but it all came together in the end.
You got to have a good laugh everywhere.
Good.
Everywhere.
That's good. Now, you mentioned a little bit about your pastor. So that was Matt Foreman.
Yes.
And you said he was just fabulous.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, he is just one of those people that, as a celebrant, as a pastor, he just had a word for us just perfectly in line with, like I use the example saying he could make you smile, he could make you laugh and cry all together, and you will still walk away with an awesome message or an awesome little nugget that you can take home.
Fantastic.
But he was great. He just went with everything we gave him. He was so accommodating, and he just kind of makes you so calm that everything's fine. We're just going to go with what you've planned.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's so important to have that, so that you're
yeah.
not nervous on the day and just stressed out.
Correct.
Just really, really good.
Yeah.
That's great. For you, what was some of the key best moments for your day?
Oh, best moment for me was the bit where I had to basically almost break my teeth trying not to cry. It was ridiculous.
Really?
You always see these guys crying and bawling their eyes out, and I thought, nah, I'm not that guy. I'll be tough. Yeah. It kind of worked. I kind of held it, but it was tough. It was tough. My favorite part was seeing Lorraine come walking down that dirt road, because it's a bit of a turn.
Yeah.
So the music was going, and you have this beautiful white bride coming down this a beautiful dirt road and all the greenery around it, and she just stood out like an angel. So
Oh, wow.
just loved it. Just loved it. I couldn't keep my eyes off her.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was definitely my highlight. I know it sounds cliche, but that was absolutely my highlight. That and the bit where the pastor said, you can now kiss your bride. So
that was a big winner.
waiting for that one. Yes.
Oh, nice. Very cool. What would you say to other couples that are now going through the process of planning their wedding? What would you give them in forms of advice for planning their wedding? Or even proposing? What would you say
even proposing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say even with proposing, there's always the beauty of YouTube. You can always find some nice ideas. It's not necessary to try and replicate something, because you'll see a version of it and try to imitate that. And if it doesn't come up that way, you'll be disappointed, I think.
True.
So I'm always of the opinion, try to take that and use it for inspiration and make up your own idea. Find out what you love, find out what she loves, and just go for getting that across the line. Like for us, it was a sunset and a bit of adventure and outside on the beach, and I just combined those things and made it happen. So that's definitely what I'd suggest with a proposal. And then for a wedding, look, everybody always has something to say. And what I think sometimes people forget is that it's about you. It's not about them.
Very true.
And especially an MC role is to try to make your bride the bride and the groom look like the world's best couple. And I think people forget that. So I would say to have the right people around you with the right team and the right bunch of advisors, like they say, the victory is sure. So have the right people around you to give you the right advice, but let everybody know that you're going to do things on your terms. Like with the photographer, give them a time frame. I know photographers love to go a little bit longer.
They do.
Who doesn't like to get their photo taken? So they have a bit of grace there. But I would say give them some guidelines and say, this is how I'd want to have it done. Do your best in these parameters. And that's where we had it. We said 1 o'clock, you're walking down the aisle. So 1 o'clock, Lorraine walked down the aisle.
Are you glad that you had a lunchtime afternoon wedding as
yes.
opposed to what most people do, which is an evening wedding?
Yeah, yeah. It was awesome because we could tie in a sunset right at the end. And it wasn't, since we had the beautiful spot, we could have the wedding right there, the ceremony right there, have all the catering, everything was ready. So we basically just had our little event, turned to the side, and there's our nibbles and drinks and everything ready. And we could finish it off with everybody's photos taken and us two going for a little couple photos at the end.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a brilliant time. It was a beautiful time.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, yes.
Now, how I originally met you was that you were actually an MC at a wedding that I did, and you did a great job as MC, so well done for that. Did you have an MC at your wedding?
Yes, we did.
Yeah?
We did, yeah.
And how good was he? Was he as good as you?
Oh, I don't know. Yes. No, he was great. He was great. He's actually, funny enough, he's actually a public speaker. He goes to schools and does motivational speaking and help them, you know, very good, an attitude type of speaker, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But we had him come on and he would just have the joke at the right time and just invite the right people up. And that's what I think you need, is you need someone to really be there to say, Vickers and Lorraine, how would you like the day to go? And then do it according to that way. And I must be honest, I probably picked up a lot of tips from him.
You did well. Because it is about steering that ship and making sure it stays on course, because that's really what an MC needs to do.
Of course,
and drive the whole day, because otherwise it all sort of just goes to custard, which is not great.
Yes, because there's a lot that can go wrong on someone's perfect day.
Absolutely.
So I think if your motivation is how can I make their day better, I think you'll be fine.
Absolutely. Vickers, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to me. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, no, thank you for inviting me. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much. And best of luck to both you and Lorraine, and obviously your future and your future little one.
Yes.
So in the start of your new family.
Thank you.
Very, very exciting. So
indeed.
best of luck.
All right, thank you.
So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Nicky Lewis. This has been The Guest List, and I'll see you next week.